Go.
I am the melanated goddess. I come today. Yeah, I come today. Yeah, to show you the way. Yes. Hello, good morning. Another beautiful, blessed day in this beautiful garden. In paradise, I am. And today I would like to share with you my journey from humanity to godliness, to the higher self, to my imagination, to my godhood, to who I am. I am that I am. And I want to share my journey with you because maybe you can pick up some points that would help you along the way. Okay, so my journey started about 7 years ago. When I started, I was madly in love with a man on the computer. It was a scam. And when I found that my lover was not real, it broke me. I had to start now looking at myself because I had nowhere to turn to. I was ashamed to talk to anyone about it. So as I began to look and ask myself question, why? How did I get in this? Because I was truly in love with this guy. You know, I was kissing my computer screen. So I don't know if anybody else has ever been there, but this is how it happened to me. So I began to recognize that there was something wrong and missing in my life because I wasn't happy. I was very unhappy with myself. Really, I didn't know myself. I didn't know what I wanted, and I didn't know which way I was going. I just felt alone and desperate to be with someone. And so I recognized you are really desperate to be in love with someone you have never seen and really talked to on the telephone. You know, all you've allowed yourself to come to such a low point that you have created this man, and he's not there. So then I started looking into myself. And as I began to look, I went on the internet and started searching for answers, to help me build myself back up because I was at my lowest point at that time. I wasn't working and I wasn't really doing anything in my life except living on the German welfare in disappointment of the things that had happened in my life earlier, not only the computer man, but other things that happened, disappointments. And I was allowing those disappointments to stop me from really going and blossoming. I didn't know the way. So I began to look for answers. And then I found out that, what did I find out? I found out that I came from a religious Christian background, so you're always looking for God to help you. And then I began to realize, wait a minute, all my prayers I've been making, they have not been answered. Why am I in this situation? Where is God? I began to ask, where is God? So I started searching, where is God? Who is God? And I came on a lot of information that showed me God was not in the heaven. So, and I also found out that there was a difference between Jesus and Christ. And then when I began to realize, wait a minute, this can't be true. So I gathered more information, and I began to find that the Christ was actually a spirit that we could all attain to once we let go of of our move out of our own way, our humanity. Everything we've been taught has kept us from being the person we came here on earth to be, our greatest self. So when I begin to see and to like meditate and think, not really meditate, but think on the words that I had learned from how the Christ Spirit actually changes your life. I just kept searching. I kept searching, and then I came on Ray Hagen, and so he gave me a lot of information about how to live the life without being, what do I say? Without being really caring about what other people thought about, to actually break the bond that was holding me from becoming my greatest self, which was to go inside of me and find out, just find out who I was. And so from there, I started growing and watching more videos and watching more videos. 2 years ago, I came upon my teacher now. my teacher now is the Black Mad Guru Mad, okay? And this man began to teach me that the answers I was looking for, the God I was looking for, was all within me. It was very, it was kind of hard to accept that because I heard it, but to take a lifetime of teaching and then now you're accepting something that's to conceive yourself as being God. It's a very big step from being taught that you're nothing or especially you have this color skin, you have doors closed in your face that that you're qualified to go through, and just because your skin color, you can't go open those doors. So I begin to see, so you don't feel good. So now how was I really to receive? And it's not a physical thing. You have to really be true with yourself. You have to you have to actually, as the Bible says, you have to seek and you'll find. You have to have a desire to be better, to want to be like Christ. And so if you keep seeking that, there's always someone that would help you on the way. So when I found the Black Mad Guru, Mad, the name with Mad, which means mystically adapted divine, is that the meaning of it?
Divinity.
Mystically adapted divinity. Okay, so when I found him and I was listening to what he was saying about you are the God, I am the creator, and I was like, wow, what is he saying? This began to open me up even more and make me more curious, and I kept following the ministry, and I realized, man, this man I'm actually beginning to have higher thoughts, because I was the type of person that if you did something to me, I'm going to get back. Even I wanted to get back at the computer person. I wanted to, if you did something to me, I was revengeful, because I didn't have that type of love for humanity or for myself. And then when I begin to find out, love yourself, see yourself as being God. When you have a bad situation, several situations I got myself into, and I handled them in my old self. And then as my teacher taught me, no, you don't handle it. You imagine, use your imagination to get that situation cleared the way you want it to be cleared. And so, every time I got in a situation where I had to use my imagination and thinking positive of people, you know what? The situation was always, it always worked out. And I became a better person. I found myself more forgiving, more compassionate to people. I've always been a person that if I see someone that look like they're begging, I've always been kind of even with animals, I just always been that type of person. And so, but I didn't really, it wasn't the same as when I started giving love to myself. It was a different type of giving, and so I began to grow, and I realized that this man was changing my life through his ministry. So I thought to myself, you know what? There's got to be a way that I can help him. So I started sending a little money to him, and then I got on his Patreon. I started sending him a little money. Then I realized that's not enough money because you know what? He's given me so much, and I wanted to have this. And he was making a video every day. There was new videos, and I was like, I need this because actually I could see the difference. And another thing that happened to me that was so phenomenal is that I had been drawing maybe 2 years before I had started. When I was very sick, I had started drawing just to keep my mind off the sickness. And so when I got with him, he was telling me that you're the creator. This creative force inside of me and my desire for drawing, I started drawing paintings. I kept saying, I can't draw. But I would start drawing, and then these fantastic creations would come out of it. And so I thought to myself, man, this has got to be my Christ power. So as I grew, the more creative I became, the more freer I became, the more loving to myself, the more rewarding to myself. I started giving myself compliments, which is also a challenge when you're by yourself. When you're by yourself, got to find out that you are beautiful inside. You have got to stop comparing yourself with people and begin to compare yourself and to look at yourself for who you are. Recognize who you are and begin to love you right where you are. If you're big, if you're little, if you whatever you are, wherever you are, that's the time you have to start realizing I am the God. I'm wonderful. I'm great. So as I begin to say these things to me, and I look at my pain, that's like I don't even know how I did it. It was the God inside of me that was God in me, and so then I desired to walk more in this God and to become the creator of my life, to change my life from being the borrower and become the lender, from being just normal human and rise up to the highest I could go. And now I'm on that road, and every time, and I have to say, I was so dedicated to listening at that every morning because I'm in Germany. It's cold. It's cold. The skies are great. There's no sunshine for almost a month, and then here he comes in my computer room in a beautiful background, birds singing, and he's just greeting, he's smiling, and then he's giving this word, and this word and everything just brought me directly into another world. You see, I stopped feeling, because when you don't have sunshine, for anyone who doesn't live in a cold country, when you don't have sunshine, you get depressed. So as I begin to see him and look at him and look at the background, listen at the birds singing, and he would often remark about the birds singing, and you begin to hear them. It brings you into another world, into another realm. And so I just kept, every day I was hungering for, I started my day off with listening at what he was saying. And I was growing. I began to recognize that the things I used to do and the way I used to think was changing, and it was changing for the best, you see. So where I am now is a result of learning and listening, learning, and receiving. And then I put what he was saying to action, and it changed my life. I don't want to just. I'm not yet perfect, but compared to where I used to be, I am so far ahead. I'm on a road, and the journey is not always. Everything that happens now doesn't always is not always positive, okay? But at the same time, I've learned to take a positive view and to see that everything is happening for a reason, okay? So instead of me now dwelling on the negative things that happen, I'm thinking about there's a reason for this. What do I have to learn from this? I'm growing. I need lessons. When someone is upset with me, or be angry with me, or treat me bad, abuse me, you know what? And I'm thinking to myself, okay, I forgive them. This is a different person than what I was 2 or 3 years ago. This is a different person because now instead of thinking about how I can just hurt them, I'm thinking about, you know what? I love them, And this was the lesson. When you learn who you are, when you can't love anyone unless you love yourself. So when you start loving yourself, it's easy for you to love and to forgive others, you see? And you can see others because, as my teacher teach, we are all one. We are all one. And the thing about it is that I had so many negative thoughts, I couldn't see this clearly. When I learned who I was, when I learned that I was a great person, that I am special, I began to become the goddess that I am today. And I want to I hope that you have learned something, that I've said something that will help you on your journey, because start with the journey, start looking at Black Mad, Guru Mad, because I'm telling you, I'm here standing in his country, just doing impossible things because of that. So I just want to thank you for listening. I hope you have learned something from me, and I hope you start to live your best life. And I want to say, I am the melanated goddess. I come today. I come today. and I've shown you the way. Love you. Bye bye.